Hello everyone, and welcome to this second video in the series of how to make a program using Delphi. In this tutorial we're gonna make this little sum application. You basically introduce two numbers, let's say here 51 and 32, and you click on the button sum and you'll find the result 83 underneath them. To make this program, first we'll start by File, New, VCL Form Application, as usual. And now we're going to use the palette tools to get all the components needed. We will need an edit, we'll put conveniently somewhere, and also a label. What those two things do is that, well, for the label, it is just as its name suggests, a label. So you type text on it. In our example, we'll write first number and put it somewhere and put the edit next to it. So we'll know that this edit is going to contain the first number. And we're going to empty this edit so that the user, when he starts the application, does not find edit 1. There you go. Then instead of going to the tool palette to get all the other edit and label, we're just gonna copy paste the edit and the label. So to select both of them, you press Shift, the Shift key on the keyboard, keep it pressed, and click on the second component. So they are both selected now. Control C, Control V to copy paste. You can move them all the way together, and copy paste to add the field for the result. Now we change the captions for the labels. So second number, and we put the result here. Okay. Now we'll just copy paste these little one edit here to add to put the plus sign, and just move it a little to the right. Copy paste it to make the equal sign, and you see how Delphi tries to the IDE tries to guide you to put the item aligned with other items. You see the blue lines over there. Okay, here we put the equal sign. Now we need a button. This is the button that we're going to use. Let's make it big, because we can, and make the app just sized to fit. Now let's put here sum, and change the caption of the form for sum application. Alright. Now when we run it, it doesn't do much. You can input text here, and it doesn't do much. So we need to write some code. So the code is what is going to be executed, what the application is going to do. Here we just need to write code for the button sum, because something is going to happen when you click on it. So click once on the button sum, go to event, double click on the next right to the on event on the drop down list, and you're presented with this code. So pressing F12 we go back. What we want to do is, in this edit 3, as is conveniently named here, we want to have the result of the sum of edit 2 and edit 1. Okay, so going back to the on click, basically when you double click on the sum button, you'll always go to the on click. That's like the default event on this component. So we're here. If we write edit 3 dot caption, edit 3 dot text, I mean, colon equal, that is the sign saying that basically what comes to the right is going to be assigned to what is on the left. Edit 1 dot text plus edit 2 dot text, semicolon. Every line of code, and almost every line of code, ends with a semicolon. Not to forget that, it creates errors. Well, for the sake of it, let's just try to remove it and see when we execute the program what's going to happen. So we try to run, it compiles and runs. Okay, but still, let's try to write a number, 15 and 20 and sum. Oh, that is not what we're looking for, right? So what it has done now, basically, the text of the edit number 3 is going to contain not the sum of the edits, but the concatenation, or text with another text. So it put 15, then it put 20. Because when you put the plus sign, let's exit this one, when you put the plus sign between two texts, two strings, it just put them next to each other, concatenate them. Because these are text strings and not numbers, integers or other. So in order to avoid that, what we're going to do is to put a little function that is embedded into the IDE that transforms the string into integers, and it is conveniently named str to int. Open the parentheses, and it says here that it needs, just underneath it here, a constant s string. So we're gonna give it a constant that is text1. Then we're gonna do the same thing to this one, string to integer, open and close here. Okay. Now we try to run the app, and we have an error. We have an error message here. It is saying that types are incompatible, string and integer. It's really important actually to read these error messages. That's how you understand what errors you have made into your application. And what it's saying here is that on this line number 37, or just before it, there is a problem with the types. So basically this text on the edit 3, we're trying to assign to it an integer, because the result of this plus this is going to be an integer. An integer cannot be passed on to a string. So we have to convert this back to a string in order to assign it to the edit 3 text. Let's do here integer to string, so it's just the other way around, the other function. And we are done. So basically we take the text from edit 1, we change it to an integer, we add it to the text from edit number 2 after changing it to an integer also, and then changing all this happy-done-sum into a string in order to assign it to the text of edit 3. Okay, now we run it, and we can give it now here 5 and 7, which will be 12. Okay, now notice in the beginning I said that you have to put a semicolon at the end of every single, almost every single instruction line. But in this special case, because after this line there is an end, the end of the procedure, then it's okay not to put it. But if you have many other lines underneath it, you'll have to put a semicolon, and we'll see this in other examples. I hope you like this tutorial, and I hope to see you next time on another video on this series on how to make programs using Delphi. Thank you very much.